Hello everyone, this is your friend Naruto Fix, and we are back with another epic What If Naruto fanfic. Which is, what if Naruto lost control of Kurama and built his own village, Part 1. If you love Naruto fanfics, then don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the journey with me. So, let's start the fanfic. The sky over Konoha burned red. Not from sunset, but from destruction. The village was in chaos. Flames licked the rooftops, and the air was thick with smoke and chakra. Shinobi ran through the streets shouting, trying to contain the explosion of raw energy at its ken. And at that center stood Naruto Uzumaki. His eyes were no longer blue. They glowed like molten fire, Kurama's chakra raging uncontrolled. The ground cracked beneath his feet as tails of red energy whipped through the air, tearing through buildings and sending shockwaves across the village. "Stay away from me," Naruto screamed, clutching his head. "I can't hold it back." Kakashi appeared behind him, his Sharingan blazing. "Naruto, listen to me. You have to stop." But Naruto turned, his face twisted in agony. "Sensei, I can't." The chakra flared. In an instant, the explosion swallowed the training ground, hurling Kakashi backward. The blast reached the Hokage's tower, shattering its walls and toppling stone. From a distance, Sakura and Sai watched helplessly as the village trembled. "His chakra, it's not Kurama's alone," Sai gasped. "It's something beyond that." Sakura's fists clenched, tears in her eyes. "No, it's his pain." Inside Naruto's mind, Kurama roared, trapped within a storm of his own rage. "You fool! If you keep this up, you'll destroy everything, including yourself." Naruto stood before the great fox, surrounded by spiraling red energy. His body flickered between forms, part human, part beast. "Then stop me," he shouted. Kurama's eyes softened for the briefest moment. "I can't. Not when your heart is breaking like this." Naruto's voice cracked. "Everyone looks at me like a monster, Kurama. No matter what I do, no matter how hard I try." The fox's growl rumbled low. "Then prove them wrong. Don't let rage define you, build something greater." Naruto looked up, trembling. "Build a home," Kurama said quietly. "For those who don't have one. For people like us." The storm slowed. Naruto fell to his knees, gasping. His vision blurred with tears. Outside, the flames slowly died down, the explosion fading as the Nine Tails' power receded. But the damage was done. Half of Konoha lay in ruins. Days later, the village gathered at the Hokage's office. The atmosphere was heavy. Tsunade sat behind her desk, silent. Kakashi, Shikamaru, and the elders stood in front of her. "We can't ignore this," one of the advisors said coldly. "Naruto lost control. Dozens were injured." "He didn't mean to," Kakashi protested. "He tried to stop it. But he failed," the elder snapped. "If the Nine Tails can't be contained, then he's a threat to the entire village." Tsunade's hands trembled on the desk. "You're suggesting exile." The room fell silent. Kakashi turned sharply. "No, he's saved this village more times than anyone." "Then he'll understand," the elder interrupted. "He can save it again, by leaving." Tsunade's gaze fell. Her heart broke as she whispered, "Naruto Uzumaki will be exiled until he proves he can control the beast." That night, Naruto stood at the village gate. His headband hung loosely in his hand. The rain poured, washing away the last embers of the fire. Sakura stood before him, trembling. "Naruto, please, tell them you can stay. You can train. We'll help you." Naruto smiled weakly. "They don't want me here, Sakura. Not right now. Maybe someday." She stepped forward. "But where will you go?" He looked up at the storming sky. "Anywhere that needs hope." Kurama's voice echoed softly in his mind. "So, you're really going to do it?" Naruto nodded. "Yeah, you said it yourself. If I don't belong here, I'll make a place where people like us can belong." He tied his headband around his arm, not as a shinobi of Konoha, but as a reminder of who he used to be. Then, with a deep breath, he stepped beyond the village walls. Weeks passed. Naruto wandered through empty valleys, ruined lands, and forgotten villages. Everywhere he went, He saw the same things: orphans, outcasts, people living in fear of chakra and power. One night, as he sat by a dying campfire, a small child approached him, trembling. "Mister, are you the monster from the leaf?" Naruto looked down, his expression soft. "Maybe I was, but I'm trying to be something else now." Quote. He gave the child his blanket, smiling. "You should sleep. Tomorrow's going to be better." The child hesitated. "You promise?" Naruto looked up at the stars. "I promise." Months turned to years. Word spread through the land of fire of a mysterious wanderer, one who protected the weak, healed the lost, and destroyed bandits with golden chakra. Eventually, refugees began following him. Children, rogue shinobi, people who had nowhere else to go. They built homes together in an unclaimed valley between the lands, deep in the forest, surrounded by rivers. Naruto stood on a newly built wooden bridge, looking over the small settlement. Smoke from cooking fires rose gently into the dawn sky. Kurama's voice was soft now, almost proud. "So, this is it." "Yeah," Naruto said, smiling. "Our village." He turned, shouting to the people below. "From this day forward, this place is free. No one here is a monster. No one here is alone." The crowd erupted in cheers. The air shimmered with golden light as Naruto's chakra flared gently, filling the valley with warmth. And just like that, the village of the Free Flame was born. But in the shadows beyond the forest, others had taken notice, shinobi from every great nation, whispering about the rise of the exiled Hokage. And far to the west, an old enemy smiled. "So, the boy finally left his cage," the man murmured, eyes glowing red. "Let's see what kind of world the demon builds." The sun rose slowly over the valley that would become legend. Morning mist rolled between the trees, curling over the half-built huts and wooden bridges. The air carried the smell of wet earth and smoke, the scent of beginning. Naruto stood at the center of it all, hammer in hand, sweat dripping down his face. Around him worked dozens of people, former bandits, refugees, and wandering shinobi. Some wore tattered forehead protectors, others hid the scars of old wars. Kurama's deep voice echoed in his mind. "They follow you, even after what happened. You scare them, but they trust you." Strange combination. Naruto smiled faintly. "Guess they just need someone who won't give up on them." He looked around, at the children playing near the river, at the women carrying buckets, at the few shinobi standing guard on the wooden wall they'd just built. This place," he whispered. "It's not Konoha, but it's home." Kurama snorted softly. "Name it, then. Give it a heart." Naruto thought for a long moment. "A place that burns but never destroys, where fire means life, not war." Quote. He looked at the great campfire at the center of the settlement, glowing bright against the mist. "From now on, this will be the village of the Free Flame." The people around him paused. Someone whispered the name, then another, and soon the whole valley echoed with it. Free Flame, a name born from exile. Weeks passed. The village began to take shape. Naruto used shadow clones to carve canals and raise wooden walls. Former rogue ninja taught survival skills and medicine. Even farmers from distant lands came, drawn by rumors of a blonde wanderer who shared food instead of taxes. At night, the villagers gathered around the central fire, listening to Naruto's stories, not of victory, but of forgiveness. He told them about the day he lost control, about the fear in the eyes of those he loved, and about the promise he made to himself. Never again would power exist without compassion. One evening, a group of strangers arrived, wounded and desperate. They wore the high-tie 8 of Sunagakure, crossed out in black. Naruto met them at the gates. "You came a long way," he said. Their leader, a tall woman with sand-colored hair and hard eyes, bowed slightly. "We heard of a man who doesn't ask where you're from. Only who you want to be." Naruto nodded. "Then you found him. Welcome to Free Flame." Kurama chuckled in his head. "You're collecting strays, kid." Quote. Naruto smiled. "Every stray deserves a home. But peace never lasts in the shinobi world." Word of the Free Flame spread quickly. To the hidden leaf, it was a rumor that hurt. To the other villagers, it was a threat. At the Hokage's table, Tsunade stared at a report in silence. An independent settlement, said Shikamaru. Built by Naruto Uzumaki. No taxes, no allegiances, and attracting rogue shinobi from every nation. Quote, Kakashi sighed. He's doing what we should have done, giving the lost a place to belong. Tsunade's gaze hardened. And because of that, the other cage will call it rebellion. Back in the valley, Naruto was training with several new recruits. Focus your chakra, he told a boy of 12. Don't force it, let it flow with your heartbeat. The boy tried again, sweat beading on his forehead. A faint blue aura shimmered around him. Naruto grinned. See, you've got it. The boy smiled shyly. Thanks, Lord Naruto. Lord. Nah. Naruto laughed. Just call me Naruto. Titles don't make you strong, your heart does. The crowd cheered lightly, inspired. But behind the smiles, Naruto felt the weight of leadership settling on his shoulders. Kurama rumbled. You're building a village of hearts. But hearts break easily. I know, Naruto whispered. That's why I'll protect them myself. Quote, That night, as the moon rose over the valley, Naruto climbed the hill overlooking his new home. The firelight below looked like stars fallen to earth. He knelt, pressing his hand to the ground. For everyone who was ever called a monster, for everyone who was ever abandoned, this place is for you. A warm wind brushed his face. Kurama's voice softened. You've changed, Naruto. Maybe, Naruto said, but it took losing everything to understand what really matters. Far away, deep in the land of lightning, the Raikage slammed his fist on the table. He's gathering missing nin under one banner. If we let this continue, he'll build an army that could rival every nation. The Kazekage, Gaara, stayed silent for a long time. Then he said quietly, Naruto isn't building an army. He's building a home. Quote, the Raikage glared. And when that home grows too strong. Gaara met his gaze. Then maybe it's time we learn what real strength is. Back at Free Flame, the village glowed with life. Watermills turned. The fields bloomed. Children learned chakra control instead of war. But not all was peaceful. In the outer forest, shadows watched. A group of masked shinobi, Anbu from the Hidden Leaf, observed through their scopes. The target has built fortifications and gathered over 300 followers, one whispered. Orders. The leader hesitated. We report to the Hokage. She must decide if the exile has become an enemy. Quote, Inside his hut, Naruto couldn't sleep. The night was too quiet. He stepped outside, barefoot, staring at the valley. Kurama stirred. You feel it too, don't you? Naruto nodded. Yeah, the world's watching. Quote, and judging. He smiled sadly. Let them. If they can't understand peace, I'll show them what it looks like. He raised his hand, and the great flame at the village center blazed higher, golden light illuminating every home. Down below, villagers stirred from sleep, stepping outside to watch the glow. Their faces reflected the firelight, tired, scarred, but hopeful. Naruto's voice carried through the valley. No matter what they call us, traitors, monsters, rogues, we'll live with honor. We'll live free. Cheers erupted. The air itself seemed to vibrate with unity. Kurama rumbled with quiet pride. You've done it, brat. You've made them believe. Naruto smiled. Then we've already won. Quote, But in the distance, far beyond the valley, a storm brewed, unseen yet inevitable. Old enemies whispered of the Free Flame's power. Old friends debated whether to save him or stop him. And deep within the Nine-Tails spirit, a shadow moved, faint, ancient, something darker than Kurama himself. A voice whispered through the cracks of Naruto's soul. You built your village on my power, boy. Let's see if it burns brighter than the world you left behind. Naruto opened his eyes suddenly, heart pounding. The fire outside still burned bright, but for the first time, he felt cold. The storm that loomed over the horizon finally broke. Rain poured down in silver sheets, washing over the forests that surrounded Free Flame Village, yet the central fire never dimmed. It burned defiantly through the downpour, a beacon against the dark sky. Naruto stood beneath that storm, eyes fixed on the horizon. He could sense it, chakra signatures, faint but familiar, closing in from afar. Shinobi. Organized. Watching. Kurama's voice growled low inside him. They're coming, kid. Not villagers, not travelers, shinobi. Leaf, maybe even others. Naruto nodded slowly, droplets sliding down his whiskered cheeks. I was hoping it wouldn't come to this. Hope doesn't stop fear, Kurama replied. And fear doesn't forgive. Inside the village, people worked even as rain fell. The crops were covered, the wooden walls reinforced. Naruto's leadership had turned the settlement into a true hidden village, a mixture of rogue shinobi, wanderers, and common people who called each other family. In the training grounds, a small group of students practiced under makeshift shelters. One of them, a girl with black hair tied in a rough bun, struggled to focus her chakra into her palms. Naruto walked over, kneeling beside her. Too tense, he said softly. Your chakra isn't a weapon. It's a part of you. Let it flow, like the rain. The girl nodded and tried again. This time a faint blue glow appeared around her fingers, stable and smooth. Her face lit up. I did it, Naruto grinned. Yeah, you did. He ruffled her hair. That's how you protect, not destroy. Kurama's voice rumbled faintly. You sound like a teacher now. Naruto smiled quietly. Guess someone had to become one. That night, lightning flashed across the sky. Naruto sat atop the watchtower, overlooking the entire valley. His shadow stretched across the ground like the shape of the nine tails. He thought of Konoha, of the carved faces of the Hokage, of Tsunade's voice trembling as she ordered his exile. Of Sakura's tears as he walked away. He missed them all, but the wound inside him had changed. It wasn't anger anymore, it was resolve. Kurama's presence flickered inside him, calmer now, though heavy with unease. You've built something real here. But peace that stands alone is peace the world will try to crush. Naruto's jaw tightened. Then I'll protect it, even if the world hates me again. The next morning, scouts brought word, cloaked figures near the border, carrying Konoha insignia. Naruto gathered his most trusted followers, older shinobi who had joined him, men and women from different lands. One of them, a scarred mist nin named Haru, spoke first. If they come, we can fight. We've trained for this. Quote, Naruto shook his head. No, if they attack, we'll defend, but we won't be the first to draw blood. A murmur went through the room. Why? Someone asked. They exiled you. They'll destroy what you built. Quote, Naruto looked around, his expression firm but gentle. Because if we fight them with hate, we're no different from what they fear. Kurama sighed. You're too good for this world, kid. Maybe, Naruto whispered back, but someone's got to show it can still be better. Quote, Days passed. The tension grew heavier than the mist. Then, one morning, the Leaf Shinobi appeared at the valley entrance, masked Anbu led by none other than Kakashi Hatake himself. Naruto froze when he saw him. The years had been kind and cruel at once. Kakashi's hair was grayer, his stance more weary. But the moment their eyes met, the old bond sparked again, teacher and student, broken by fate, still connected by something deeper than word Kakashi-sensei. Quote, Kakashi lowered his mask slightly, rain dripping from his silver hair. Naruto, you've really done it, haven't you? Built your own village. Not a village of war, Naruto said quietly. A village of peace. Quote, Kakashi's single visible eye softened. I know, but the others don't see it that way. Behind him, the Anbu shifted uncomfortably, their weapons ready but not raised. The Hokage wants to speak with you, Kakashi continued. She doesn't want to fight, but she can't ignore a hidden settlement gathering rogue shinobi. Naruto nodded. Tell Tsunade Bark and she'll always have my respect. But I can't abandon these people. Then she'll have to decide, Kakashi said softly, whether to protect you, or stop you. Quote, a long silence hung between them, heavy, unspoken, and full of memories. Naruto looked down at the mud beneath his feet. I never wanted this, sensei. But I can't let them suffer the way I did. Kakashi's voice trembled for the first time. I know, Naruto. And that's what makes this so damn hard. The Leaf forces withdrew, but Naruto knew, this was only the beginning. That night, thunder rolled through the valley. The villagers gathered in the central square, their faces tense. Naruto stood on the wooden platform, looking over the hundreds of faces illuminated by the golden fire. I won't lie to you, he said. The world doesn't understand what we're doing here. They think we're rebels, or monsters. Quote, he clenched his fist. But I know what we are. We are survivors. We are believers. And we will not fight for hate, we will fight for our right to exist. The villagers cheered, their voices echoing like the roar of a great flame. Kurama's chakra flared faintly around Naruto, not as rage, but as warmth. Golden embers drifted through the air, touching everyone around him like sparks of life. In that moment, the free flame truly became alive, united by one heart, one will. Far away, in the shadows of Konoha, Tsunade sat in silence. The report lay open before her. Free flame has grown, said one advisor. If Naruto continues to gather followers, he'll rival even the 5 great villages in a few years. Quote, Tsunade stared at the words, her heart heavy. He's not building an army. He's building a dream. The elder scoffed. Dreams don't stop wars. No, Tsunade whispered, but they start peace. She looked out the window toward the carved faces of the Hokage monument. Naruto, what kind of Hokage are you becoming out there? Back in the valley, the storm finally broke into clear skies. The sunlight spilled over free flame, touching every roof, every face. Naruto stood at the hill again, gazing at his people as they worked, laughed, and rebuilt together. Kurama's deep voice rumbled like distant thunder. You know they'll come again, right? Stronger next time. I know. You could leave, save yourself. Naruto smiled faintly. And leave them behind. Not a chance. Quote, he placed his hand over his heart, where Kurama's chakra pulsed like a heartbeat. This power destroyed once. Now it'll protect. Kurama was silent for a long moment. Then, with quiet pride, he said, then let's protect it together, Naruto. Quote, Naruto looked to the sky, the blue stretching endlessly above him, and whispered, yeah. Together, but unseen, deep beneath the roots of the valley, a new presence stirred, an ancient chakra fragment buried long ago, feeding on the energy of the 9 tails. Its voice was a whisper carried on the wind, unheard but watching. The beast's host has built his haven, but even fire, left to burn, consumes all. The wind howled across the valley that cradled Free Flame Village. The peaceful hum of morning had given way to tension, heavy and electric. Word had arrived at dawn. A coalition force from 3 minor nations was marching toward them. Not the Hidden Leaf, not yet, but shinobi who saw the Free Flame as a threat to their borders, and an opportunity to destroy Le Gend before it grew too strong. Naruto stood at the edge of the village wall, cloak whipping in the wind. His eyes, still blue, burned with the quiet strength of someone who had faced the world's hatred before, and survived it. Kurama's voice rolled through his mind, deep and cautious. 300 men, trained shinobi. You could wipe them out in a single blast, you know that. I could, Naruto murmured. But then I'd just prove them right, that I'm a monster wearing a hero's mask. Quote, and if you don't, then I'll prove that even monsters can choose mercy. Kurama was silent for a moment. Then a low growl, half warning, half respect. You've grown up, brat. Naruto smiled faintly. Took me long enough. The enemy appeared by noon, banners fluttering, armor gleaming under the sun. They came from the lands of iron, frost, and stone, mercenaries, samurai, and rogue shinobi led by generals hungry for fame. At their front rode a man in dark armor, his face marked by old scars. He shouted across the field, his voice amplified by chakra. Naruto Uzumaki, the so-called, exiled Hokage. You harbor missing nin, thieves, and killers. Your flame is an insult to order. Surrender now, or we'll put it out ourselves. Naruto stepped forward onto the muddy field, his orange cloak fluttering. Order, he called back. You mean fear. You rule by it, I live beyond it. Quote, murmurs ran through the enemy ranks. The man laughed harshly. You think words will save you, boy. Naruto shook his head. No, but maybe they'll save you. The general snarled and raised his arm. Attack. Quote, the army roared forward. Naruto's chakra surged, golden light spiraling around him as tales of energy unfurled, not burning red like Kurama's rage, but radiant gold, pulsing with calm power. Kurama's voice was steady. They'll force your hand. You can't save them all. Maybe not, Naruto said softly, but I'll save what I can. He formed a single seal. The ground trembled. Shadow clones burst into existence, hundreds of them, surrounding the valley, moving like waves of light. Protect the villages, he shouted. His clones raced outward, intercepting the attackers. Explosions lit the field. Smoke rose. The sound of clashing steel and chakra echoed across the hills. Naruto moved through it all like a storm, disarming enemies, redirecting attacks, never killing. Every movement was precise, merciful, deliberate. When fireballs came, he countered with wind. When lightning struck, he grounded it into the earth. The field became a blur of motion, chaos shaped by compassion. But there were too many. Even with his power, the enemy pressed in. Kurama growled. They won't stop. They can't see what you're trying to do. Naruto gritted his teeth. Then we'll show them. He slammed his hands together, summoning a swirling sphere of energy, a Rasengan infused with the gold and chakra of the free flame. Tensho Rasengan. The blast erupted like sunlight, not with destruction but with force, a wave that threw back hundreds without ending a single life. When the smoke cleared, silence fell. The army staggered, disoriented but alive. Naruto stood in the center, breathing hard, golden chakra fading around him. Go home, he said quietly. There's nothing here for you to destroy. Among the enemy ranks, whispers spread. That power, he could have killed us all. He didn't. Why? The general snarled, but his soldiers hesitated. Their fear began to shift, not of Naruto, but of themselves. Naruto's voice rose again, carried by chakra so it reached every ear. You think power comes from control, from domination. But it comes from protecting what you love. He spread his arms. This flame won't die, because it burns for peace. The soldiers lowered their weapons. One by one, they began to back away. The general's fury boiled over. He charged, blade drawn, chakra flaring. Naruto didn't move. He simply raised his hand and caught the blade between his fingers. The metal cracked, chakra shattering. You still don't understand, Naruto whispered. Strength without kindness is nothing. He released the man. The general collapsed to his knees, shaking. When Naruto turned away, no one stopped him. The battlefield went still. By sunset, the valley was quiet again. The villagers emerged from their shelters, looking in awe at the man who had defended them without hate. Naruto walked among them, exhausted but smiling. No casualties, he said softly. That's what victory looks like. Kurama's voice echoed, warm with pride. You really are something, you know that. Naruto chuckled weakly. You're just realizing that now. TCH. Don't get cocky. They both laughed, the first true laughter the valley had heard since the exile began. That night, the village celebrated. Fires blazed high, music filled the air, and for once, everyone let themselves believe that peace could last. Naruto sat by the great flame, watching children dance around it. But even as he smiled, a sliver of darkness lingered in his heart, the echo of something deep and ancient stirring within Kurama. Hey, he murmured, you feel that? Quote, Kurama hesitated. Yeah, it's not me. Something's moving, something old. The fire flickered. For a heartbeat, the golden light turned black. Naruto frowned. What was that? I don't know, Kurama said grimly. But whatever it is, it's inside you now. Far away, in a darkened chamber beneath the hidden stone, an old figure smiled faintly at the news of Naruto's victory. A shadow stretched across the floor, twisting, whispering, ancient. So the child of prophecy builds his little village, the voice hissed. Let's see how long his peace lasts when the monster within him truly wakes. In the valley, the fire burned again, bright, defiant, beautiful. Naruto stood before it, unaware that the next battle would not come from outside his walls, but from the darkness still sleeping within his soul. The moon hung heavy over Free Flame Village, its silver light spilling over quiet rooftops and shimmering across the great central fire that never went. Out. The battle had ended days ago, yet something darker had taken root beneath the calm, a quiet unease that even Naruto couldn't ignore. He could feel it now. A subtle pulse deep inside his chest. Kurama's chakra had always felt like fire, wild but warm. This was different. Cold, heavy, ancient. Naruto sat alone by the fire, eyes fixed on the flames that flickered and twisted strangely in the wind. Each flicker showed shadows that didn't belong. Kurama's low voice rumbled in the depths of his mind. That feeling again. Yeah, Naruto muttered, closing his eyes. It's been growing stronger every day. Ever since that battle, something latched onto us during the fight, Kurama growled. Something that recognizes my chakra, like a parasite feeding off old hatred. Quote, Naruto clenched his fists. Can you get rid of it? Not yet. It's buried too deep, under both our chakra flows. I can suppress it for now, but if you keep using my power at full strength, it'll break free. Quote, Naruto stared into the fire, watching golden sparks rise into the night. Then we'll just have to face it when it comes. Kurama hesitated. That's what I'm afraid of. Days turned into weeks. Free Flame continued to grow. More refugees arrived, families from broken lands, shinobi who wanted peace, and children born into the village who had never known the hatred of the outside world. They looked to Naruto like a protector, a symbol, even a legend. He had become what he once dreamed of being, the heart of his own home. But deep down, the whisper still lingered. It came in his sleep at first, quiet, distant voices calling his name. Then, dreams of red skies, of fires that burned black, of laughter that wasn't his own. He would wake drenched in sweat, Kurama's growl echoing in his skull. It's pushing through. You have to be careful, Naruto. One night, Naruto called a meeting of his top shinobi. They gathered in the half-built council hall, torches flickering along the wooden walls. Among them were Haru from the mist, Ren from the land of grass, and Kira, the young woman from Suna who had become his most trusted advisor. Naruto looked around the table, his face serious. We're being watched again. I can sense scouts around the border. Probably from the leaf or lightning. Haru slammed his fist on the table. Let them come. We'll show them we're not weak. Naruto shook his head. No, we'll show them we're not afraid. That's different. Kira spoke quietly, eyes sharp. And what if they attack again? The people will look to you, Naruto. They'll expect you to fight. Naruto paused. Then I'll fight for them, not against anyone, but for this village. Quote, Ren frowned. What if you can't hold back next time? The question silenced the room. Naruto looked down at his hands, feeling that strange cold pulse again. Then I'll make sure the damage falls only on me. Quote, After the meeting, Naruto walked alone through the forest surrounding the village. The moonlight turned the trees silver, the river whispering softly beside him. Kurama stirred again. You can't hide it from them forever. They'll see what's happening inside you. I know, Naruto said quietly. But if they see me lose control again, they'll lose faith. Faith isn't what makes a village, Naruto. Bonds do. Naruto stopped, leaning against a tree, his breath visible in the cold night air. You sound like Jiraiya right now. Kurama snorted. That old fool. Maybe I learned something from watching him through you. Naruto smiled faintly, but it faded when the pulse came again, sharper this time. A shadow crawled across his vision, and suddenly he wasn't in the forest anymore. He stood in a place of swirling darkness, the mental landscape of his own mind. Kurama loomed nearby, golden chakra flickering like embers. Before them stood a shape, humanoid, but broken and twisting, its form made of black flame. Its voice was both whisper and thunder. Naruto Uzumaki, you carry the beast's hatred, but you deny it. You hide your true strength behind compassion. Quote, Naruto narrowed his eyes. And who the hell are you supposed to be? I am what remains of the 10 Tails will, the fragment that lingered when your world sealed me away. The shadow of every beast's rage, including your fox. Quote, Kurama bared his fangs. You're lying. The 10 Tails essence was destroyed long ago. The shadow laughed, cold and endless. Destroyed. No. Divided. Forgotten. And I have been patient, waiting for a heart pure enough to infect. Quote, its burning eyes turned toward Naruto. You built a village from kindness. Let's see how long that kindness survives when every emotion you've buried comes to life. The shadow lunged. Naruto gasped and fell to his knees in the forest, clutching his head. Kurama roared inside him. Stay awake, Naruto. Don't let it take root. Naruto's chakra flared violently, golden light bursting through the trees, shaking the ground. Villagers woke to the sound of thunder. A flare of energy lit the entire sky. Haru and Kira rushed toward the source, their eyes wide as they saw Naruto glowing with raw power, his cloak burning with both gold and black flames. Lord Naruto, Kira shouted. What's happening? Naruto's voice was strained, almost desperate. Get everyone back. I can't control it. Kurama fought within him, trying to smother the darkness, but the black chakra spread like oil through the golden light. Naruto's eyes shifted, one blue, one red, flickering with violent instability. The ground cracked beneath him, and a wave of chakra blasted outward, splitting trees and shaking the mountains. Inside his mind, Naruto stood again before the black flame. I won't let you take this from me, he said through gritted teeth. The shadow's voice echoed through the void. You already did. Every time you doubted yourself, every time you buried your anger, you fed me. Quote, Naruto's fists clenched. Then I'll burn you out, even if it kills me. He charged, his chakra exploding in a burst of light and shadow. Outside, the villagers watched in horror as the forest erupted in golden fire, consuming the night sky. At its center, Naruto hovered above the ground, caught between two powers, the light of the Nine Tails and the darkness of something older, deeper. Kurama roared within him, his voice echoing through the valley. You are not my hatred, and you will not have my Jinchuriki. Naruto screamed, the sound shaking the air itself. Then, suddenly, the explosion stopped. The fire vanished. The sky cleared. Naruto collapsed to the ground, unconscious. When he awoke, dawn light filtered through his window. He was lying in his bed, bandaged, weak. Kira sat beside him, asleep in a chair, her head resting on her arms. Kurama's voice came softly, weary. You pushed it back. For now. Naruto turned his head slowly. But it's still there. Yeah, Kurama admitted. And it's waiting. Naruto stared at the ceiling, the sound of the morning outside, laughter, hammers, life, filling the silence. He whispered, then we'll wait too. Until it shows itself again. And when it does, Kurama finished for him, we burn brighter. Naruto smiled weakly. Exactly. Outside, the people of Free Flame worked as always, unaware of the storm still brewing within their leader. But deep inside Naruto's soul, the shadow of the 10 Tails whispered again, faint, patient, and full of promise. Every flame burns out, Naruto Uzumaki. And when yours does, I will rise. The fire at the heart of the village flickered once, as if shivering in warning. The morning sun rose over Free Flame Village, gilding its rooftops in gold. The air was crisp, filled with the scent of newly carved wood and the quiet murmurs of villagers rebuilding what the previous night had shaken apart. From afar, it looked peaceful, a place born from the ashes of war, glowing with new life. But inside Naruto's home, peace was far away. He sat cross-legged at the center of a room lined with seals, each one glowing faintly with containment energy. His eyes were closed, his hands resting on his knees. He was meditating, or trying to. Kurama's chakra pulsed unevenly inside him, crashing against the dark remnants that had clawed their way into his soul. The shadow hadn't vanished. It was sleeping, coiled around his heart like smoke. Kurama spoke first, his voice rough but steady. That thing, it's adapting to you. The more you resist it, the more it learns. Quote, Naruto didn't open his eyes. So'll just keep changing too. You're human, Naruto. There's a limit to how much chakra your body can handle before it tears apart. He smirked faintly. You told me that before every fight we've ever had. Didn't stop me then. Kurama's low growl vibrated through the seal space. This is different. This isn't a battle outside, it's inside you. Lose this one, and it won't just be your body that burns. Naruto's eyes opened, glowing faintly blue and orange. Then I'll win it from the inside too. Days passed. He trained in secret, away from the eyes of the villagers. Every sunrise found him deep in the forest surrounding Free Flame, bare feet pressing against scorched ground, sweat dripping from his brow as he fought invisible enemies made of his own chakra. He built seals, broke them, and built them again. He meditated under waterfalls, his chakra glowing so fiercely that the water turned to mist before it touched him. Kurama guided him constantly. You're not fighting the shadow. You're fighting your fear of it. Naruto gritted his teeth. Then I'll stop being afraid. But even he knew that wasn't true. The fear was real, not of dying, not even of losing himself, but of hurting the people who believed in him. Kira saw it too. She had watched him from afar, seeing the exhaustion in his eyes and the way his smile never quite reached his face anymore. One evening, she approached him as he trained near the edge of the forest. The air shimmered around him, hot from the waves of chakra radiating off his body. Lord Naruto, she called softly, stepping closer. He stopped mid-strike, breathing heavily, golden light fading from his skin. Kira, you shouldn't be out here. It's dangerous when you lose control. She interrupted. You think I haven't seen you fighting yourself every day? Naruto turned away, wiping sweat from his face. It's not something I can risk involving others in. She walked closer until she stood beside him. You built this village to protect people from fear, and yet you're the one drowning in it. Her words hit deeper than he expected. He looked down at the ground, jaw tightening. Every time I close my eyes, he said quietly, I see that thing waiting. It's like it knows me better than I know myself. Kira tilted her head. Then maybe you should stop fighting it like an enemy, and understand what it wants. Quote, Kurama's voice growled inside him immediately. Don't listen to that. The shadow's not something you reason with. But Naruto only murmured, maybe she's right. Naruto, I've spent my whole life fighting hatred, Kurama. What if the only way to win this time is to accept it, to understand why it exists? Kurama fell silent for a moment. Then, reluctantly, you're walking a dangerous path, kid. Naruto smiled faintly. Wouldn't be the first time. That night, he sat once again before the great flame in the center of the village. The villagers had gone to sleep. Only the soft crackle of fire filled the air. He closed his eyes, letting his breath slow. His consciousness drifted inward, past the warmth of Kurama's chakra, past the seals and the light, until he reached the darkness once more. The shadow waited there, swirling like mist, its form indistinct but powerful. You've returned, it whispered, voice soft and strange. Do you seek to destroy me again? Naruto stood before it calmly. No, I came to talk. The shadow's shape flickered, uncertain. Talk, with the darkness you fear. Quote, yeah, Naruto said, because I think I understand now. You're not the 10 Tails will. You're everything that was left behind when we tried to erase hate. You're what people refused to face. The shadow was silent. Then, slowly, it smiled, a shape in the void. And what do you plan to do with me, savior of the world? Naruto took a breath. I don't want to destroy you. I want to accept you, so you can't control me anymore. Quote, the shadow hissed, recoiling. You would fuse light and darkness. Fool, that will consume you. Maybe, Naruto said simply. But maybe that's what it means to grow stronger. He stepped forward, letting his chakra flare, golden and red mixing into a burning orange. Kurama's roar filled the space as his power surged, surrounding Naruto in blazing light. The shadow screamed as it touched him, its form twisting and burning, but Naruto didn't stop. Pain, anger, loneliness, I've felt all of it, he said, his voice echoing. But none of it controls me. Not anymore. The darkness shattered, breaking into fragments that swirled around him, not disappearing, but merging with his chakra. When the light faded, Naruto stood at the center of his mindscape, glowing softly. His eyes were pure gold, lined with black. Kurama watched from behind the bars of the old seal, his mouth slightly open. You actually did it. Naruto turned, smiling faintly. Guess it's not about rejecting the darkness. It's about learning to live with it. Kurama chuckled lowly. You're starting to sound like an old sage, you know that. Naruto laughed. Maybe I've been hanging around too many. When he opened his eyes, dawn was breaking. The great flame before him flickered brighter than ever, its color shifting, golden at the base, red at the tips. Villagers gathered, whispering at the strange sight, but Naruto only smiled. He could feel it, the balance. The darkness still lived within him, but it was quiet now, at peace. Kurama's voice rumbled softly. Looks like you've found your center, kid. Naruto stood, looking out over his village as sunlight spilled over the horizon. Not yet, he said, tightening his headband. But I'm getting there. As the people of Free Flame looked up at him, their leader, their protector, they saw something new in his eyes. Not just warmth, not just fire, but something deeper. A quiet strength that came from embracing everything he was. And far in the distance, hidden in the shadows of the old world, shinobi from other nations watched with unease. The boy who once saved the world was building something new, something powerful, something they didn't understand. And the balance he had just achieved would soon be tested again. The morning wind swept through Free Flame Village, carrying the smell of ash and renewal. Birds circled above the rooftops, their cries echoing against the cliffs that guarded the settlement. The people were waking, hammering, laughing, rebuilding, and for the first time since its creation, the village felt truly alive. At the highest point, on the half-finished stone tower that would one day serve as the Hokage-like office, Naruto Uzumaki stood quietly. His orange cloak fluttered behind him, scorched at the edges from the night of chaos. Beneath his skin, two opposing tides pulsed, Kurama's fierce fire and the dark echo he had finally accepted. They no longer fought, they breathed together. Kurama's voice rumbled deep within. You've balanced light and shadow. You've done what no Jinchuriki ever could. Naruto smiled faintly. Maybe that's what this village needed, a leader who's made peace with both sides of himself. Quote, he looked down. The villagers were lighting the eternal flame in the center square again. Its color shimmered between red and gold, the same hues that now burned in his eyes. Kira joined him on the tower, her hair swaying in the breeze. They say the fire changed because of you, she said softly. They think it's a sign. Naruto laughed under his breath. A sign that even flames can learn to stop fighting the wind. For a long moment, they stood in silence, watching the light spread through the streets. Do you think they'll come? Kira asked finally. The other nations. Naruto's gaze drifted to the horizon where the forests met the morning sun. Yeah, word travels fast, and the world still fears what it doesn't understand. Quote, Kurama snorted. Let them come. We've faced worse. Naruto nodded slowly. If they want to see what peace looks like, we'll show them. If they come for war, he paused, the golden glow in his eyes flaring for an instant. Then I'll protect this village the same way I've protected every bond I've ever made, with everything I am. The fire below roared higher, its warmth spilling over the streets and into the mountains. Children laughed, unaware of the eyes watching from distant lands, unaware that their home had just become the heart of a new era. Naruto breathed deeply, the air tasting of smoke and promise. This time, he whispered, we build a world that doesn't need heroes, just people strong enough to believe. Quote, the wind carried his words into the sky as the Free Flame emblem fluttered above him, blazing against the morning light. If you enjoy this fanfic then please like and subscribe my channel Narutofix 11 for more fanfic. Thank you.